All right, thank you guys. We are 3-0 in our last three NBA tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. We're also 10-2 in our last 12 college basketball tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have plays going off in both of those packages that I just mentioned to you. Now, we currently have over 920 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you find yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you want to connect with me on a daily basis, please feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. I'd love to connect with you day in and day out. The thumbs up and the subscribes, those are very, very important to me. They mean a lot to me, and they're certainly healthy for the growth of my channel. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into it. The Warriors take on the Cavaliers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Golden State's -8.5, totals 207. But despite their success early in the year, the Warriors may have to go to work without Steph Curry here this evening. Steph's currently battling a lower body injury. Now, Andre Iguodala, he's been ruled as out for tonight's contest as well. And as good as these guys have been offensively, they actually struggle shooting the three ball away from home. You wouldn't think it, but they're certainly not getting the job done there. The Warriors are currently in the bottom 10 in the NBA in three-point percentage on the road. Meanwhile, defensively on the other side of the ball, the Warriors allow more first-quarter points on the road than any other team in basketball. Now, they're taking on a Cleveland squad who's been very good against the point spread this year. They're 9-1 ATS in their last 10 ball games. They're also one of the better defensive teams in the association. The Cavs are in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage at home. They're also holding their opponents to just 97 points a game at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Jared Allen, he's averaging nearly 11 rebounds a game, 14 points a night for the center. Meanwhile, Darius Garland scoring over 16.5 points a game, along with a couple of rebounds and 6 assists. Now, keep an eye on Allen's status. He's officially listed as questionable, although it does seem like it's a non-COVID-related illness. So keep an eye on him. Now, Markkanen and Stevens, they're also listed as questionable for tonight's action as well. That in mind, though, we're still looking at a Cleveland squad who's in the top 3 in the NBA in fewest first-quarter points allowed. Now, total-wise, Cleveland 6-1 to the under at home, 11-5 to the under for the whole year. Meanwhile, the Warriors saw 4 out of their last 5 road games fall under the line themselves, 10-4 to the under for the entire season as well. I'm going to lean toward Golden State -8.5, under 207. Next contest, Wizards Heat, 7:30 East. Miami's -7.5, totals 209. And speaking of the total in this one, 3 out of Miami's last 6 home games fell under the posted number. Meanwhile, the Wizards on the other side are 6-1 to the under in their last 7 on the road. And the Wizards are also 71% to the under for the entire season as well. As far as picking a winner goes, this game's being featured as my NBA tier package pick on BrockPage.com, where once again, we are 3-0 in our last 3 picks in that category. So if you want to see whether I like the Wizards plus the points in this one, or if I'm going to lay the points with Miami, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my NBA tier package pick on BrockPage.com. But as far as giving a free pick for this ball game here, I'm going to lean toward the under 209 in that contest. Next matchup, Spurs, Timberwolves, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Minnesota's -3, totals 222.5. But despite being favored by a bucket, the T-Wolves have dropped 8 out of their last 10 ball games. Minnesota's also struggled at home, winners of just 3 out of their last 9 home games. Minnesota scoring just 100 points a game at the Target Center, and they're shooting only 39% from the field there. Now, defensively, on the other end of the court, this is the worst defensive rebounding team in the game. They're taking on a Spurs team who actually covered the number in 50% of their road games despite their struggles this season. San Antonio has also actually done a pretty nice job defensively. They're allowing just 104 points per contest on the road. DeJounte Murray's averaging over 2 steals a night, along with 7.5 defensive rebounds a game. Now, scoring-wise, Murray's also averaging over 18.5 points a game as well. Keldon Johnson is averaging over 15.5 points a night, 6 rebounds, couple assists for Keldon. Now, the Spurs are actually in the top 5 in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. And when it comes to the injury report, Pirtle and Collins are still out for the Spurs. Landale is out as well. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, Okogie's been listed as questionable for them. When it comes to the total on this one, the T-Wolves are 8-1 to the under at home, 10-4 to the under everywhere. Meanwhile, the Spurs have seen 75% of their road games stay under the line themselves. I'm going to lean towards San Antonio +3, under 222.5. Next matchup, Clippers, Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern tip. LA's -1, totals 220. Now, the Clippers are really banged up right now. Batum and Mann are questionable. Meanwhile, Morris, Winslow, Preston, and Johnson are out. And as good as the Clippers have been here recently, they're actually playing just .500 basketball on the road. LA's also struggling to rebound the basketball. They're in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounding, bottom 10 in offensive rebounding on the road. The Clippers are also letting their opponents make 40% of their three-pointers away from home. They're taking on a Memphis club who's playing their best basketball at the FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies are 5-3 straight up on their home court, 5-3 against the spread in those home games. Now, Memphis has also done a really nice job under the boards. They're currently leading the NBA in home offensive rebounding. Now, the Grizzlies are currently in the top 10 in defensive rebounding as well. And when it comes to the scoring for Memphis, Ja Morant's averaging nearly 26 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, Desmond Bane's averaging over 14 points a night himself, 3 boards, couple assists for Bane. But most impressive, Bane is making 47% of his three-pointers. He's dangerous from beyond the arc. The Grizzlies are in the top 10 in scoring. Now, total-wise, Memphis saw contests with Houston and Minnesota get over the posted total here recently. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, 5 out of their last 8 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Memphis +1, over 220. Next matchup, Raptors, Jazz, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Utah's -9, numbers 213. The Jazz dropped 4 out of their last 6 ball games. Bottom 10 in the NBA in three-point shooting at home. The Jazz are also in the bottom half of the NBA in fourth quarter scoring at home as well. Now, they're taking on a Toronto team who plays their best basketball on the road. They're 5-2 straight up when traveling, 5-2 against the spread in those road games. OG Anunoby scoring over 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for the forward. Meanwhile, Freddie VanVleet is scoring nearly 20 points a night himself, 5 rebounds, 7 assists for Fred. He's also drilling nearly 41% of his three-pointers. And speaking of three-pointers, the Raptors are in the top 10 in shooting the long ball on the road. Meanwhile, defensively on the other end of the court, the Raptors are allowing just 101 points a game away from home. They currently lead the NBA in road defensive rebounding. Now, injury-wise, Watanabe is out for Toronto. Anunoby, Boucher, and Achua, they're battling through ailments as well. Meanwhile, for Utah, Rudy Gay is questionable. Now, total-wise, Utah's seen contests with Miami and Sacramento get over the line here recently. Meanwhile, Toronto, on the other side, they saw their last 3 straight get over the line themselves, 4-1 to the over in their last 5. I'm going to lean toward Toronto +9, over 213. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Sixers versus the Nuggets, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Denver's -8, totals 209.5. The Nuggets have won 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and they've been virtually unbeatable at home. They're currently 7-1 straight up at the Ball Arena. And the Nuggets lead the NBA in defending the three ball at home as well. Denver allows only 93 points a game on their home court, and they're holding their opponents to just 28% shooting from beyond the arc in that same category. Nikola Jokic is grabbing 11 defensive rebounds a game, 26 points a night offensively for the Joker. Meanwhile, Aaron Gordon's averaging over 12.5 points a game along with 5 rebounds. Denver's currently in the top 5 in offensive field goal percentage. They're taking on a Philadelphia team who's really struggling right now. 0-5 straight up in their last 5 ball games. 0-5 against the spread in those losses. The Sixers are still going to work without Joel Embiid. It's amazing how long this guy's been out as a vaccinated player. It's completely unjustified. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. But Sixers are still going to work without vaccinated Joel Embiid because of COVID. Green and Thibault, they're both out as well. The Sixers are currently dead last in the NBA in offensive rebounding. They're also in the bottom 10 in defending the three ball on the road. Now, injury-wise, we obviously just covered Philly. Meanwhile, for Denver, Barton is questionable. Najee is out. Now, total-wise, Denver's gone 70% to the under in their last 10 contests, 6-2 to the under on their home court this year. Meanwhile, the Sixers on the other side have gone 60% to the under for the entire season themselves. I'm going to lean toward Denver -8, under 209.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 3-0 in our last 3 NBA tier package picks. I like Golden State -8.5, under 207. I also like the under 209 in the Washington-Miami game. Give me San Antonio +3, under 222 and a hook. Memphis +1, over 220. Toronto +9, over 213. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 3-0 in our last 3 NBA tier package picks on brockpage.com. We're also 10-2 in our last 12 college basketball tier package picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward Denver -8, under 209.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Sanford Davis, who said the other day, "Brock, you are the man. Keep up the good work." All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get billed here today, but you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.